What's good, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Solace Akron here, and today, well, more like yesterday, I'm sure you've all heard the news about what happened at E3 concerning Sword and Shield and Pokemon Home. We're gonna go over that very shortly, but first, and what I want to talk about, I know you know the news and you probably have your own opinions, but I want to tell you why I think this is really bad and why I feel lied to and cheated to, and also why I think what the future is going to be because of this, what this actually means for the game of Pokemon if our worst fears come to pass. But before that, I want to mention that as well as this information that you see on your screen, they also said that Dynamax is replacing Mega Evolutions and Z moves. So I want to talk about that really quick. So basically, I kind of saw this coming, honestly. I felt like there was no way they were going to be able to have Megas and Z moves and Dynamax. But I love Mega Evolutions. They are easily my favorite thing that's been added to the game. I hated them at first, and then I came to really love them and get really excited every single time a new one came out. But we haven't had Mega since Gen 6, and honestly, I don't know why, except for the mechanic balancing, but you could figure out a way to do that. I don't know. Why this is bad, though, is, it's bad for Game Freak's merchandising. I have Mega Evolution plushies. Like, a lot of people buy that. They won't have that anymore. I guess they'll still have the plushies, but, people won't be as interested in them. But metagame-wise, team building is going to suffer because people won't have central things to build around. Breaking down Fat Stall is going to be more difficult because the power creep is going to drop significantly in this generation, as well as with that information as well. Yeah, it's gonna be, and even if they manage to fix what's on your screen, like, there still won't be Mega Evolutions, so the power creep will still go down either way, and Z moves are gone too, so power creep will drop even more. So either way, once they announced that, I knew that, like, well, all those Ubers Pokemon that want to see fall to OU, it's not happening. Like, not happening. Definitely not happening. You take all the Mega Evolutions out of OU and you get not a very good tier. A whole bunch of UU Pokemon become OU. Like, it's a mess. Like, so without Mega Evolutions, and also we lose some really cool Pokemon like Mega Mawile and Mega Altaria and Mega Ampharos, but really bad Pokemon that became really good with Mega Evolutions. I want to say Ampharos is really good, or Lopunny, Mega Lopunny. That's probably one of the best examples right there. Mega Kangaskhan too. Just a whole bunch of Pokemon that were really bad that got made really good. We're gonna lose that, and that sucks. So anyways, let's move on to this, and I'm gonna read it out loud for people so that you can understand exactly what was said. This is translated. This is the English translation that was said at E3. This is from Junichi Masuda's mouth directly, pretty much. And now, we're well over 800 Pokemon species in the game. And at Game Freak, we really spent a long amount of time thinking about what was the best way to move forward. Thinking about what the best way to move forward was, really preserving the quality of all the different Pokemon, while also taking into account the battle balance. Having so many Pokemon available, all within, and get this is a real big shocker, within a limited development time. I put that sucker in quotes. So we don't keep fans waiting for too long for every new entry into the series. And after a lot of discussion, we decided to come to a new direction. And what that means for Pokemon Sword and Shield is that players will be able to transfer their Pokemon from Pokemon Home only if they appear in the Galar Region Pokedex. We were very careful. We spent a lot of time thinking about what the best selection of Pokemon to match the setting of the adventure would be. So I'll talk more about the details in future opportunities such as media and reviews, but I wanted to let you know today. I also know there are a lot of users in the Pokemon Bank service that are looking forward to Pokemon Home, so I wanted to let them know what the change would be well in advance. When that got dropped, I was in just complete shock. How can a company whose slogan in the 90s when the game first came out was "gotta catch 'em all," can you not catch them all? So okay, I want to switch to hold on a second. Okay, so I want to look, and for people say, oh, there's no backlash, people like this. I want you to look at this right here. The like to dislike ratio on the Treehouse Live, dude. Yesterday, it was still a positive. It was still positive likes to dislike ratio, but that has since been completely trounced. And I assume that in the days to come, it's only going to get worse. This is a PR nightmare for Game Freak. Like, these are people who are genuinely angry. These are 15,000 people that have managed to see this video and voice their opinion. There are 7,000 comments on this video. 7,000! So half of the people that dislike this video felt public enough to make an announcement about it of their own. I probably made several of them, but this is a breach of trust. This was let me show you why. These are the full comments from when they announced the 2019 game and what they were planning with Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Eevee. So this was the reason we can release a game on Switch is that we have been working on it since the console launched. So first of all, I don't know if they're talking about this game or if I'm assuming they're talking about Sword and Shield. That means since 2016. No. Yes, wait. Or is it 2016? Yes. Since March of 2016, they have been working on this game. So, over 3 years of development. So when you say limited development time, you're just a bunch of bullshit lazy programmers. That's what it is. Okay, so basically, the idea here was that this is going to be for the casual players, and we accepted that, and I played it, and I kind of liked it. The release in the second half of 2019 is a completely different game. This will not be an entry point into the series, but rather something we want people who have been enjoying Pokemon games for a long time to look forward to. The game will make it easy to see the way in which Game Freak has continued to evolve and succeed the tradition of Pokemon, which they have completely destroyed by getting rid of Mega Evolution. There's no tradition, completely gone. We want to deliver a product with lots of experiences where we can say we did this for the Pokemon fans. You fucking lied. You lied to us. You completely lied to us. This is not just like, oh, this is some, person's translation. This is from this dude. I mean, it's a translation from the Pokemon president. He lied to us. Game Freak has lied to us. And if you're not upset about being lied to, then you have issues, okay? You have, then you've been lied to, all your life, and you just, accept it, and something is wrong with you, and you need to get help. Big time. They lied to us. This is not a fan-based move. This is a big fuck you to the veteran fan base. To anybody who plays competitive Mons, to anybody, Showdown and OU, even the VGC players with this is going to have big egg move implications, like, because all these Pokemon just won't exist. For people who shiny collect, who do full dex collection, for people who bring their Pokemon from the oldest games and bring them up. I know people, in fact, I have Pokemon all the way from Gen 3, okay? From the farthest back you can basically go in a linear fashion. I have Pokemon from Gen 4, from games that I don't even have anymore, that they were destroyed or lost. Games from ORAS and X and Y, or from Omega Ruby and X version that were in fact destroyed, that I managed to save via the blessings of the power saves. These Pokemon are special to me. I've carried these Pokemon as long as I possibly can. Like, from when I was just a casual player to when I started really getting into competitive. And I won't be able to carry some of them past Alola. And it gets even worse. It gets even worse. Want to look at Pokemon Home? I want to mention that, the connections with Bank, Go, Let's Go are only one way. So, if you get Pokemon Home and you send all of your Pokemon from Bank over to Home, guess what? They're stuck there forever. Forever. Until they say otherwise, they're stuck there forever. To sit in a server till the end of fucking time. Can you believe that? That they would say that there's one way and then be like, oh yeah, you can't get those Pokemon off of Pokemon Home now. Like, you're fucked. Like, yikes. You have to, like, look at the list and, like, only send the ones that, like, you can. Like, and we're gonna watch the Pokemon Home the section about it, and I want you to listen very, very carefully to this. Very, very carefully. Oh, let me make sure it's not too loud first.
The concept behind Pokemon Home is to be a place where all Pokemon can gather. We're developing it as a cloud service that will work with smartphone devices and Nintendo Switch, and it will allow you to bring over the Pokemon that have shared in your adventures.
That right there.
On Nintendo 3DS, we created a service called Pokemon Bank that allowed players to bring Pokemon from past games into the latest series of the games on the system.
Okay.
With Pokemon Home, we aimed to leave behind the boundaries of a single system and allow for players to connect with Pokemon Bank, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, the upcoming Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield games, and also Pokemon Go.
Yes.
And we will, of course, take great care to preserve the value that each of these Pokemon have to their trainers. And in the future, the content in which you can play with your Pokemon will continue to expand even further. Pokemon.
That was a lie! They lied again! This was sent out May 29th! They lied! Can you believe every single word they said there was a lie? Every single one! That we want to preserve the value of Pokemon, that we want to bring Pokemon that you've shared experiences with all the way through the next games. No, you're not. You're limiting the amount of experiences we can bring with us. You're limiting the decks because your programmers are slow and lazy and inefficient. And you haven't hired enough of them. And you wasted 3 years of development with 2 development teams. You had one group working on basically a fan-made version of Pokemon Sun and Moon that could have easily been done by a single person. In fact, I know people who have taken Pokemon games and made more in-depth hacks than Ultra Sun and Moon is. Like, the extreme randomizers are usually done by like 1 or 2 people. Like, those games have way more changes than the original. From Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon to Sun and Moon. Like, that's crazy that it took an entire team to make that game. And it was still crap. And then they spent another development team making Pokemon Let's Go. Like, and they polished that to hell. I mean, that was super polished. There was almost nothing wrong with that game. Like a couple of little mistakes, but you know, and then they patched those. Like, but this, they're gonna go into November with an incomplete game. And by the way, the people that say like, oh well, it's gonna be a polished game. No, it's not. The demo that they had at E3, the E3 demo had frame drops, missing animations, and other issues. I'm pretty sure there was some crashes and probably some missed text. The demo was only a gym battle. How can you screw that up? How can you screw that up? I'm seriously, like, they're gonna go into November still building their game. So, you know, so Game Freak has lied to us. Clearly, they've lied to us. And if you don't understand that they've lied to us, then you are dumb and oblivious. And I'm sorry. You can be angry about that. You can say, "Oh, you're so mean." Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna be mean. I'm telling you that Game Freak has lied to your face, and they are stealing your money. And if you buy this game, you are a sucker. Okay, if you buy this game, then you're playing right into Game Freak's hands. You know, what they want is a more casual fan base. They want to move away from competitive. If in their wildest dreams, they want to put this all on their smartphone. And I blame Pokemon Go for this because of its financial success. I blame Let's Go. You know, I bought Let's Go with the idea that, like, okay, this is just going to be a change of pace for a little while, and then we'll go back to what things are. But not a change of direction. If I knew this was a change of direction, that like, oh yeah, we're going this casual route now. Like, the competitive game, fuck the competitive game. We're going casual. Everything is basically Pokemon Go. I would have been like, nope, I'm done with the series. Like, and that's how I feel right now. Like, I am basically on the edge. Will I buy this? Only if they plan to announce that they're adding the Pokemon back in. Only if they say, like, okay, we're going to patch it in like March, or maybe even next November, like a whole entire year with basically a Pokebank metagame. Like, okay, great. I'll be able to transfer my Pokemon from home eventually. That's okay. I would actually love that. In fact, I would really love that if they did that. Game Freak, you can turn this from being a disaster to being maybe the best thing you've done for the series. If you just announced that you are going to add them all in eventually. Like, really, that was a big mistake. And they're feeling it right now, I bet. I bet the pre-orders are dropping. I bet obviously the like to dislike ratio on, look at the like ratio on this. This is just the press conference for some games that nobody cares about. That's like a 98%, like 90, like a 95%, like to dislike ratio. That's insane. Go back here, it's like 66 to 33 dislike to like ratio. Like, oh my god. So now there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that's their claim that this is a balance thing, that they are balancing the game. First of all, I don't believe that for a damn second. I don't believe it at all. And here's why. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Game Freak is notorious for putting unbalanced things in their game. Mega Rayquaza, ring a bell? How about Primal Groudon? Or Primal Kyogre? Yeah, those are way too balanced. They're super balanced. Oh, yes. How about Incineroar for VGC? They designed this game for doubles. How did you not expect Incineroar with Intimidate to become a monstrosity? Or how about Landorus T? The biggest cancer in both VGC and OU. Like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. Like, How about Mega Mewtwo X and Y that have the highest BSTs in the game outside of Mega Rayquaza? Like, actually, I think they even have a higher BST than Mega Rayquaza. Like, yeah, they do. How about, you know, Pokemon like Regigigas and Slacking, which were horribly you know, they basically made a super powerful Pokemon and then they nerfed them beyond hell. You know, Game Freak doesn't know how to balance their own Pokemon, it seems. So what makes you think they actually know how to balance their own game? And VGC people are like, they're getting a hard on because they hear that their metagame is going to become less stale and it's going to be different. Oh, you think? Oh, really? Well, let me show you what happens in the extremes when you limit the amount of Pokemon available. A really weird phenomenon happens. Yeah, let's look at it. So this is Gen 1. This is the usage stats in May. We don't have a ton. Well, we have 11,000 battles. That's a lot. That's enough for a sample size. We're going to look at the amount of Pokemon that are either close to Landorus T usage or above Landorus T usage. Starmie, 38%. Alakazam, 50%. And by the way, Landorus T usage is 44% right now. 50% Alakazam, 77, almost 78 for Chansey, 81 for exact, 86 for Tauros. There are 6 Pokemon with similar usage to Landorus T, and as you can see, there's a big drop off from Starmie to Rhydon. Like, that's not a stalemate. This is only 151 Pokemon. Well, 149, because 2 of them are banned. Okay, so. 104. Let's move to Gen 2. Oh, it must get a little better. It does. It gets a little better. Okay. Let's see here. We have a little. Oh wait, this is Let's Go. Excuse me. So you know they had one Pokemon. We got Alolan Muck at 51, Zapdos at 52, Mew at 68, Melmetal at 82%. Holy crap! That's approaching Tauros levels of usage. 82%. Yeah, this is a Gen 7 metagame. Look what happens in a Gen 7 metagame when you limit the dex to 150 Pokemon. Like, the usage stats at the top end shoot up like crazy. Let's move to Gen 2. It must get better. Oh, Raikou 43%, Zapdos 51, Cloyster 53, Snorlax 88%? 88? There's 4,000 battles. That's still enough for a sample size. Yeah, 88%. That's higher than Tauros. That means you're going to see Snorlax in almost every battle. That's not, like, completely stale. You doubled the size of the mons. What happened? What happened? Wow. Now this surprised the hell out of me. Gen 3. We added another 100 Pokemon-ish. Actually, more like 103, right? No? I don't even remember. We've got, you know, we don't have as many Pokemon, but Tyranitar at 46%. And here I thought Gen 3 was more balanced. And not only that, but you have a whole bunch of Pokemon sitting at basically 33% usage. That you see these 3 Pokemon a third of the time. A third of. 1 in every 3 battles, you're going to see one of these Pokemon. And very likely, you're going to see one of those Pokemon. And this surprised the hell out of me, too. You say, oh, we added even more Pokemon. Look at what happened here. Tyranitar, 51%. Jirachi, 41%. Wait, are you trying to tell me that Gen 4 is not as balanced as we thought it was? Is that what I'm trying? That's exactly what I'm trying to say. They added more Pokemon and it became even more unbalanced. At this point, Gen 3 is the most balanced, with a 46% usage plan. What? You add more Pokemon and it became more unbalanced. And everybody says Gen 4 is the most balanced gen. Well, I'm going to just disagree right now. I'm going to say that this is not the most balanced gen. Gen 5 is. And finally, we get to Gen 5. With well over 500 Pokemon. which I don't think that's going to be the size of the Pokedex. We finally have Pokemon that are like balanced in usage. A curve, but not a shot up in the top 6. Usage that steadily creeps up. Finally, we have something balanced. It took all the way till Gen 5 to get that. And even then, you've still got a whole bunch of Pokemon sitting at the top. Look at these 6 Pokemon. Yeah. I see those on every goddamn Gen 5 team. Like, every Gen 5 team, you see these Pokemon. Like, it's ridiculous. And after this, the usage starts being more curved again. Mostly because Landorus T got better and better and better. But that was one Pokemon that's the problem, not an entire set of Pokemon. But look what happens when you limit the amount of Pokemon in your metagame. It gets worse. Pokemon sitting at the top get used more because they're in a pool of less Pokemon that can check them. That's the truth. That's how metagames work. Now you might say that maybe Game Freak is limiting their Pokedex to basically Gen 5 levels of play. And I'd say, wow, if they can get this, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. This metagame was still unbalanced though. Look at Politoed sitting at 24%. Like, that's not a balance issue, right? Game Freak is always going to have, they're going to add something that is beyond dumb. And if they add Pokemon like Toxapex, I already know Melmetal is going to be in the game, and Zapdos is going to be in the game, and very likely Static Defog Zapdos will be transferable, I would guess. Like, I already see, and I'm going to do a video about this as well at some point, about what OU looks like, and I'm probably going to do an update anytime we find out new Pokemon. But basically what I think OU is going to look like, and what I think the usage stats are going to be. I'm going to go through, like, and then they're going to be completely made up numbers, and that's fine. But like basically what I think the metagame is going to look like. And right now it doesn't look pretty. It doesn't look pretty at all. Mostly because, okay, so Tyranitar is number 1 in this gen. It's number 1 in this gen. It's number 1 in this gen. Number 12 in this gen. And it didn't exist in these gens. So I don't know if half the metagames, it's been number 1 usage. And guess who's in Sword and Shield? Tyranitar. Oh boy, guys. Oh boy. Yep. And who's number 1 in this metagame? Not that one. This one, Melmetal and Mew, which are confirmed to be in the game. Oh, and Zapdos, which is likely confirmed in the game. And Alolan Muck, which is confirmed in the game. And all of literally these mons, well, not that one. All of these mons are confirmed basically in the game. And among those is a Snorlax, which has, you know, the big usage. And we'll see not Skarmory, but we'll see Corviknight. So a Skarmory-like Pokemon, and we might even see Chansey and Blissey. And if there's a Violite, that thing is going to be impossible to break. It's a bad time. I see a very pointed metagame again, because they've limited the amount of mons. But yeah, I will be doing a video about that, and I'll be compiling a list. You'll probably see that tomorrow, if I have time. I'll probably have time. But yeah, so basically, long story short, to sum this video up, because it's a long one. First of all, the programmers are, that's the other thing. I want to mention this real quick. The programmers, they need to hire new ones. They've got the same old people working on these games that have been programming it for years. They're bad programmers. They're just bad. And you know how I know? I know because how Smash works. because Smash Bros on the 3DS versus X and or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire in the 3DS, because that was probably the worst one graphically. Do you know that the 3DS can handle Smash Bros like cleanly, and the only lag existed from like online play, which yeah, they messed up the online play, but the graphics never suffered. Maybe occasional tiny frame drops, small frame drops, like oh there was a frame drop that was random, like very small. It never like lagged or buffered or like looked super shaky. It was clean. And those, you could have 4 characters, 8, could you have 8 characters? I think just 4 in that game. Yeah, 4 characters on a screen. And many characters, many sprites, many assets that have a lot of different motions. Pokemon, on the other hand, has, okay, they have more sprites, sure, but they don't do the same actions as Smash Bros. And yet they're basically stationary, and it frame drops every other frame, and then when they make moves, it really frame drops like big time. That has nothing to do with the assets that they're using. That has to do, well, it does. It means that their assets are bloated, they're not cleverly done assets, they're data filling, they're big assets, they're much bigger than they need to be. And the programming to handle the graphics has been done very poorly, like piss poor. Like probably hundreds of, maybe even thousands of lines of code that just don't need to be made. That could be eliminated. Okay, the fact that ORAS doesn't run cleanly on the 3DS is a joke. It's a joke when Smash Bros runs cleanly on the 3DS, okay? Fucking Smash Bros. So before you say like, oh yeah, the programmers are having such a hard time. Get better programmers. If you have get better programmers. And here's what the future means for Pokemon. That's the other thing too. So I'm not wrapping this up yet. What the future means. If this is permanent, and I say if, because I still believe that Game Freak is going to amend this terrible mistake they've made. If this is permanent and Gen 8, all of Gen 8 exists as a Pokebank meta, then there's a couple options competitively. First off, you can just say, okay, that's how things are, and go with it. People are going to be upset. You're going to lose a lot of players. A ton of players. You're going to lose people who wanted to do Wi-Fi, such as me. You're going to lose... you're going to lose hardcore competitive players that wanted to do Wi-Fi. You're going to lose a lot of VGC players. And the kind of attention that this game was going to get for streaming and stuff is not going to be there. It's going to not exist. It's going to be just like Sun and Moon, where people had streaming capabilities, but nobody gave a damn because only a few people did it. And likewise, despite having streaming capabilities like crazy now, there won't be that many people doing this. Oh, people haven't even been able to see the usage stats. Well, it's okay. Shit. People, I've just been clicking on this and people have been like, well, it's okay. Fuck it, whatever. I haven't misaligned, that's what happened. Maybe I can move it. Maybe I can move it a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna, for people who want to look at all the stats. Okay, so here's Gen 1 stats. I'm super sorry. Gen 2 stat, or Let's Go stats, Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, and Gen 5. Okay, I'm really sorry about that. Super sorry. Anyways, the other option is that we basically say, fuck you, Nintendo. And I was going to make a video on how I think Smogon is the death of Pokemon. Mostly because they don't do live cartridge-based battles, but in this case, Smogon might be the savior of Pokemon. Smogon has the capability with Showdown to create their own original metagames, and they do that all the time. What could happen is that we basically say, we are designing our own competitive game. that is going to be superior to the real metagame. Basically taking Mega and Z move mechanics and integrating it with all the new stuff, all the new mechanics and nuances of Gen 8. Making our own mechanics, keeping the Pokemon that we love and hold dear, and playing our own version of the metagame that is superior in every way. Basically a Pokebank metagame. Or like this would exist, you know, the real game would exist as a pre-bank metagame that people can play. But also there's a post-bank metagame that we continuously play. And we might exclude Mega Evolutions, we might include them, but that would end up probably being the most popular format on Showdown. And probably become the competitive one? Question mark? I don't know. I would play the hell out of that metagame. For real. I think that, you know, and I would feel like I haven't lost anything. Like, all my old mons are still here. I can still use my favorites. They can still test all the crazy stuff they were going to test and fail miserably. Yeah. The other option, and this is my favorite option. This is the option I think in the next Direct, Game Freak is going to announce this. I really do. I think that the backlash is actually big enough that they've noticed, because they've never gotten a backlash like this before for anything. They've gotten people that like disliked Let's Go, but they've never gotten like people that are just, you know, that kind of dislike to like ratio. Let's look at the Let's Go announcement. Let's go find that if we can. Let's go find the original. Here we go. Look at this. Sorry. I mean, there are people that dislike this, you know? People dislike this. But it's still a very positive like to dislike ratio. It's not very good, but it's still positive, immensely positive. People generally liked this. But you go to here, it's not positive. Oh, let's refresh and see if this has changed.
To really gather all of their Pokemon in a single location.
Jesus Christ, it got worse. Since I started the video, it got 2,000 likes worse. It got even worse. Oh my goodness God. This is going to be all the way up to here by the end of the week. I swear. Oh my goodness God. That right there just shows that people are angry. Okay. People are waking up right now and they're pissed. They're waking up. They're seeing this and they're like, oh my God. No way. Okay. This got 2,000 dislikes in however long this video is. Holy crap. That's insanity. Oh man. Wild. Oh, so wild. You really fucked this up, Game Freak, and they're gonna notice. They're gonna notice. They're gonna look at their video and see this. They're getting floods of emails, comments, tweets, angry people at their doorstep. And I bet the Japanese are angry as fuck too. I'd try and find the Japanese stream one and stuff, but I'm too lazy. But yeah, we're gonna see. I'm gonna show you what the OU currently looks like. And by the way, there's one last thing that upsets the hell out of me, and it upset me during Let's Go, but it's back, and I'm very angry. Hold on. Give me a moment. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. Okay. Let's go all the way to the bottom. This motherfucker. You know how you get him? The same way you got him in Let's Go. You pay $50 for the Pokeball Plus to get Mew. That's a $50 DLC for a single Pokemon in a mainstay series game. That's not for the fans. You didn't make this for the fans. You made this for the money. Money! And you know what else they're probably going to do? They're going to make us pay to have DLC for our old Pokemon. They're going to hold our old Pokemon hostage for money. That's criminal. That's borderline like make a lawsuit, like, you know, via, you know, Battlefront 2 style. Like, honestly, Game Freak is stepping into EA territory here. Like, they really are, and Bethesda territory, as one of the most hated Pokemon games of all time. Or the most hated video game companies of all time. They're stepping into that territory. They went from like, okay, people just, they don't, you know, Game Freak is stupid, but they're not awful. They're not criminals. They're not holding our Pokemon hostage or anything yet. Well, they are now. But anyways, I will go over this list. All of it. By the way, this Pokemon is fucking awesome. This is, like, they made two really cool Pokemon in the demo. And it's been completely overshadowed by this news. Like, I would, you know, on a normal day, I'd be like super excited and I'd be talking about Yamper and its stupid ass ability, but how awesome it looks. And I'd talk about Impidimp, Impidimp. Nah, I misspoke. Impidimp. And how it's Dark Fairy. It's the first Dark Fairy type. And if this thing evolves, it's going to be actually decent. You know, I'd love to talk about that. But now, and every single Pokemon that we find in the trailer, we're going to be like, oh, we have that Pokemon. Oh my goodness. Like, that's not something that you should be looking forward to in the trailers. We should be looking forward to the new Pokemon. Not that, like, oh, we're looking for the old Pokemon. But yeah, I'll be doing a Dex. And basically, you can transfer from, I don't know. You know, I won't include Zapdos. I'll literally just include everything here. Oh, and Melmetal. Of course Melmetal is going to be transferred. Obviously. Wouldn't that be strange if you could have Melmetal in Let's Go, but you can't put it in the new game? Like, it's a Gen 8 Pokemon that you can't have in Gen 8. Like, holy shit. Anyways, I think that's it for now. It's gonna be a lot of editing. This is Solace Sakarian signing out. Peace.